field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks. With the ball in the air, secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Go defense, defense, go defense, defense, gone defense, defense, clock in D, yeah, it's time to go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, man, that we had like a top 10 or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas doomsday. Time to go to work. Listen what the hot boys tell them, man. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Clock in D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. You see the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods, plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds, the hot boys shining. Clock in D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work. Clock in D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, clock in. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks. With the ball in the air, secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in D, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in D, yeah, it's time to go to work. go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, man, that we had like a top 10 or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple D, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas doomsday. Listen what the hot boys tell them. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, gone clock in, clock in, clock in, D. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchmen coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you.
Thanks, Coach. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My
it.
man West Coast from this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's up with you guys? Hey, sorry about that, man. I had a small interruption for a minute, but hey, we back. Well, but we in this piece. We in this piece. Just know your boy West Coast just found out that I leave at 5 a.m. I thought she said 5:50 in the afternoon. All right. So I had a little man in the direction, but Boss Cowboy, I'm gonna be in Dallas at 12 o'clock. That's the best part of the news I just got right now.
Oh, sweet.
You know what I'm saying? So hey. We in this piece. Y'all in this piece. Let me see who's up in this piece for real. Let me get these comments real quick.
I'm so happy, bro. I'm happy, bro. Happy.
Let me see. We rerunning. We appreciate you guys. I'm getting it up. Hey, boss, is it all up on you? There we go. All right, there we go. Let's say what's up to some folks, man. What up with you, Ron? What up with your main? What up with you, Boss Cowboy? What up with you, Alfredo? What up with you, Rodney? Jacqueline, John Juice. What up with you, Netherin, Vance? Man, hey, your boy. I literally just found out right now, or maybe she did mention it. I don't know. My wife be talking so fast. If you married, you know your wife be talking so fast. Man, I could have sworn she said 5 p.m., but we leave at 5 a.m. Like West Coast whole day just changed. What's going on with you, boss?
Oh man, no man, just sitting back, man. I was actually doing some draft work, so I'm already on that.
I heard that, man. But before we do some draft work, man, let's talk about these goddamn Minnesota Vikings, man. Hey, let's shout out to some other people. We got some other people coming in here. What up with you, Rob? What you, Brian, Lindsay, AJ? What up with you? I see everybody. Let's get this thing popping. Hey, if you're looking on the screen right now, you're seeing that me and my boy, Boss Cowboy, we're gonna be in Dallas this week. Actually, Irving to be exact. We have my boy Jalen Smith out. Meet and greet. Come out. It's normally $65, but if you use the code West Coast 25, you get $25 off your ticket, bringing it down to $40. And guess what? That includes your autograph. So you get to hang out with the hot boy himself. Jalen Smith was rocking it this weekend. If you want to ask him a question about how it feels when he hits Daniel Jones, does it feel like you're hitting Eli still? Because they really look alike. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to ask him tomorrow on Saturday, you can do that. So if you want to come out, make sure you hit the inbox, or you can just go to cowboyspackages.com and type in West Coast 25. It's going to drop it down to $40. So, hey, we got some more people up here. What up with you, Kermit? What up with you, Jose? What up with you, Dwayne? Hey, man, my boy Jose, man, my boy Ballhead been rocking with me for a minute, man. And he just threw an interesting name out there. You know what I'm saying? He just threw an interesting name. We're going to talk about these Minnesota Vikings, but before we talk about these Minnesota Vikings, man, I want to talk a little bit about Jordan Lewis. I mean, man, what are your thoughts about him these days, Boss Cowboy? I mean, after you really, you rode for him, and now you finally seeing, the manifestation of all that riding. I need to know, are you really sitting on your high horse right now, or is you still humble on the run?
Man, I'm so off of it now, man. It's like, on to the next, bro.
We passed it. We letting it go.
Because see, like you was a manager before, man. You was a corporate manager. You know how it is, man. You can't celebrate a sale too long.
Hey, what the Kermit do? What the Kermit do like this? I when I be seeing Jordan Lewis out there just doing crazy, I just drink like this.
Yeah, just like that. But
like,
after you put that cup down, I ain't talking about it no more. I'm on to the next. I'm on to the next lobby. The next lobby that I'm pushing for is Thompson.
So who is the next? So basically, you're saying you're asking for the next lobby. So today, this is what we're gonna find out. Because I'm gonna tell you guys one thing about the Dallas Cowboys. When one person loses that title, it just goes on to another, right?
Exactly.
So the new term that we're about to coin here at Dallas Cowboy Scouting, your boy West Coast, your boy Boss Cowboy. They have, when somebody say, I mossed him, what does that mean? That means you ran past him and was like, hit him with a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? When this would be like, yo, I Kobe'd him. What that means? That means you drop back, hit the game winner. When you was like, man, I was like Barry Sanders on that dude. What that mean? That means what? That means you shook him out their pants. Boss Cowboy, when I say they Jordan Lewis him, what does that mean to you?
I mean, the best thing about Jordan Lewis, man, is he's the best tackler on the team by far. Like, he is the best tackler on the team. So, I mean, if you're looking for some fly to come out of Boss Cowboy right now, it's not going to happen. I'm just going to stick to what I really, really know, West Coast, and that's the fact that this man is one of the most clutch performers and sure tacklers that we have on our team.
Yeah. And
if you say, what is Jordan Lewis? If you can say one word to describe him, baller. Yeah. Just period. And just a baller is encompassing. So you can say as a baller, he can play offense. He has great hands. He's always around the ball. He make things happen. And one of the best things I love about Jordan Lewis is this. And we're not on Instagram. I just want to tell you that. But one of the best. I got. It's all good. But just one of the things I love about Jordan Lewis, man, is you see the camaraderie, not just from the fans, man. You see it from his teammates, bro. Like, when you saw all the love that was going to him from, Kayvon, bro, you finally got your shot. You been deserved it. And when he coming off the field, man, your boy Malik say, man, you ball god, bro. You the ball god. And everybody start calling that man the ball god. And he ain't calling himself the ball god. They calling him the ball god. So it's a respect that's universal when it comes to this man. So, I mean, it's much love, man. And then, obviously we both met him, kicked it with him and everything. So it's like when you get a chance to meet him and you see he's so humble, he always got a big smile on his face. He didn't let the politics shake him. He stayed confident in his skill set, and he continued to push through the opposition of watching Anthony Brown in front of him, knowing that I'm better than this man. Plays in this man, but I'm not going to be Debbie Downer. Like, we met him at SportsCon, and I asked him a question. We had a chance to ask him a question as he was on the podium. And I said, man, how do you what would be your advice to kind of shake through the mental toughness of being so good but yet not playing? And his answer was surprising. He said, man, actually not playing was like one of the best things because it keeps me humble. It keeps me hungry. So his mind state is this very strong for a cornerback, man. Like I tell you what, if I was him, I would have been showing my anger because ain't no way I'm gonna be watching somebody just, in front of me that's not as good, and then you don't see the body language showing that I'm ready to play over this man. So yeah, shout out to Jordan Lewis.
Now that's on a positive note. Now, if I told you that Devin Smith is getting Jordan Lewis, what would that mean to you?
I mean,
we up on Instagram.
Okay. I mean, when you say he's been Jordan Lewis, from that perspective, that says to me that it makes no sense why he's not playing. So when you say it in that context, that's exactly how I take it is this man should be playing, but he's not playing, and it doesn't make sense. If anybody read any of my post-game articles, I almost always mentioned Jordan Lewis and the mystery of why he was not playing every week, to the point I started saying it just doesn't make no sense at this point. I just don't get it. I'm not going to be able to say anything about it. So when you say that in context of Devin Smith, it's the same thing. Like, how can somebody be starting so hot, have a great preseason, a great Redskins game, show all the potential of him being a second rounder and a rebound and a super deal, and all of a sudden he's on the shelf? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of like what you're seeing with Devin Smith right now. I mean, this is a good name that people brought up earlier. Hey, did you send me your, oh, I see you right here.
Yeah, it's on its way.
Okay, all right. I see it right here. Whoop, whoop. Trying to get up on IG.
Yeah, I'm on.
Oh, no, I was telling the folks trying to get up on IG. But, I mean, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get up on here real quick. I see you.
I see you.
Hey, send me one more invite.
All right.
Oh, I got you. Here we go. All right, you should be coming in now.
All right.
All right, so yeah, the subject was we were talking about what's up with your Instagram, waiting to get up, waiting to come up, waiting to get up, and boom. So we're talking about the subject of, we talked a little bit about the positive of being, called Jordan Lewis, and then we also talked about, now we're kind of talking about the effects if someone was to say, like, dang, man, Devin Smith, man, it feels like he's getting Jordan Lewis, man. Like, when I hear that in that context, what it makes me feel like exactly what you were saying. A guy who you feel that has the talent. Not only has the talent, he has to has proven that he can play in the league. And Devin Smith is definitely a guy who meets those criteria. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy who's shown you that he can play in this league. Like, when I hear that, and he's a guy that is already made plays for you in this league. And guess what? For whatever strange reason, he's not playing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, I'm curious myself. I try to keep my ear to the streets, but I mean, you don't hear anything about any negative. Anything that's happened with him, he's a guy who's shown you that he can play in this league. Like, when I hear that, he's a guy that is already made plays for you in this league. And guess what?
Yeah, man. No, it don't make sense. Like, and whenever I kind of imagine the Dallas Cowboys, and especially when you kind of observe the political patterns of the Dallas Cowboys, I always imagine almost like on Trading Places where it was Mortimer talking to his brother and they made that $1 bet.
Gotta let them know what movie that is so they know what you're coming
That's about. Trading Places, man. That's classic. And if you have not, if you don't know about Trading Places, you so under a rock. But like basically they basically set up two people in their lives to have them switch. One guy was on the street, the other guy was out of Harvard. An investment broken, all this kind of stuff. They had them switch to see could a lifestyle change actually make somebody a criminal and the other person a decent citizen, and they bet $1 on it. But their $1 bet was an ego bet that involved the future of two men's lives. That's exactly how I kind of see us in a way to where.
Put your headphones in.
Oh, it's okay. Got you. Give me a second.
All right, we're gonna try to fix that echoing right now. But yeah, I totally get what you're coming from. I mean, that's why I wanted to bring. That's why I wanted to say the effect. Talking about when you're doing positive. When you're doing positive. There we go.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
When we're doing positive, it's like a mad echo. I can hear myself.
Let me go get my headphones. Go ahead.
Give me 1 second. But all right, it's gone now, so we good. All right, so yeah, on a positive aspect, when someone's saying like, man, that guy's out there, Jordan Lewis is out there balling, but at the same time, the thing that sucks about Jordan Lewis is Jordan Lewis is just the stencil. He's just like the proof that there do some weird stuff that be happening in Dallas Cowboys. Now, you know what I'm saying? There do be some weird.
He's just the proof.
That's why I said like that's why people be like, West Coast, you need to stop talking about Dez Bryant. I'm like, no, because Dez is the proof that they be lying. Like, why would I not stop showing you the proof? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now Jordan Lewis is the proof that they be lying. Like, they do what they want to do. Like, and I've already made a public apology to Cole Beasley, so I don't feel like I got to do that again. But Cole Beasley was right when he said it's
predetermined rosters.
There you go. Where's Jamez when you need it?
Man, you got me, man. You got me and Jamez, bro. Either one of us can rock it for you, my brother.
Yeah, I know. But it's what he said. You know what
predetermined rosters.
Bam.
It's predetermined. It's just like Mortimer. $1. They bet like this guy's gonna do well. And the worst part about it, West Coast, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
What seems to be the pattern in Dallas is when somebody of power bet on a player, they don't sit back and just kind of let it play out. It was a part on the movie on Trading Places where Eddie Murphy found some money, right? And it was a wad of hundreds, right? And Eddie picked it up and he started smiling like, "Ooh, I came up," right? Then he turned around and thought about it. He said, "Hold on, man, this might be a setup." So he returned it back to Mortimer, right, his boss, and was like, hey, you dropped your money. And then he said, "Nice try, Winthorpe." Like, because he tried to influence the bet. And that's almost what I see with Dallas. It's almost like you can see them trying to influence, or what I call put the thumb on the scale to try to push the outcome that they already predetermined. So that's why you see weird stuff like Jordan Lewis not getting snaps. That's why you see them pushing PR stuff like we can use a committee to replace Dez. It's because you already have a predetermined outcome. And instead of letting it play out with pure competition, you love to just kind of put your thumb on the scale and influence the outcome that you wanted to see in the first place. So when you say like somebody got Jordan Lewis, and when you see these mystery disappearing acts like Devin Smith, or when you see somebody like Thompson get in the game and rock, and all of a sudden the secondary just look complete, you're like, whoa, why every time this man play, we look way better than secondary? But then you don't see him anymore. As soon as he come back, they throw him back out there. He start missing angles, getting burned for 92 yards versus the Jets. And then we back to, iffy again in the secondary. Is because predetermined rosters, predetermined egos that say, I want this guy to play and I'm going to be right.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're asking West Coast right now, y'all know I'm a big Donovan Wilson fan, but I'm going to keep it real with you. If you're asking me right now, who are my starting safeties for this week, it's going to be Woods and Thompson, because I'm going to be honest with you. They had, the way they played together was just like
look good.
It looked like two high school buddies out there playing. And every play they was making it together. And that within it, I just love the way, like there was I forget, was it the fourth down? Not the fourth down, it was the third down, in around the goal line. I'm racking my memory trying to get the exact down. But I think it was Law that stood him up, but it was Thompson that stopped his motion. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And a lot of time in the NFL, just stopping someone is not enough. That is not enough.
Yeah, got to hold on for the cavalry.
You know what I'm saying? But Thompson is who actually stopped his motion. So right now, if you ask me West Coast, my start Thompson. This is the second time you didn't came. I mean, let's keep it real. Like he should have been playing because he was already playing a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
I'm just enjoying the sermon.
y'all know what it is, man. That was Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and see, Tristan Sky Blue from Instagram said, yeah, they stopped Barkley. Yeah, and that's not an easy thing, especially on the goal line. And you know, like you can't watch Thompson from Miami
I like his swag.
and then watch him for this game and not have an appetite for more. West Coast.
Yo.
You visit Texas a lot. I kick it with you when you come to Texas.
I know. I'm getting on a plane at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, my wife. I already told you all about that, right? My wife. I thought I could have sworn she
at 5 in the morning. But you know what? I know for a fact a place that you go visit before you go back to Cali.
Where?
Waffle House.
Oh man, what you talking about?
Hey, like every time I sneak up on West Coast, when he come to my city, my boy West Coast always got a bag or 2 or 3 bags of Waffle House leftovers every time. But you know why? You know why? Because he tried it. It's the exact same thing with Thompson. How do you try it, taste it, see that it's good, and not want to see more? So like I said earlier, I'm so happy for Jordan Lewis, but I'm on to the next lobby. The next lobby I want is my boy Thompson on the field, and I want to see a little bit of rotation of Wilson. And you know who else we need to get up off that practice squad? Josh Jones, bro. Like it's like
safety from Green Bay.
Reaching for, we need to go get Adams and we need to go get Earl. We really just need to play what we
got. Yeah, man. Yeah, and I mean, to be honest with you, it's like the safety position is so disrespectful. It disrespected in Dallas, like even on both angles. I mean, they disrespect the fact that they don't value the good safeties that are out there, and then they also disrespect the safeties, the good ones that they have.
That's here.
Like so.
Yep.
Like in my opinion, I just feel like the Dallas Cowboys they should not be approved. You know how it's your job, you got to get approved to drive the forklift. You just can't just go get on the forklift. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the Dallas Cowboys should be approved to talk about safety. Why? Because, like, think about this. Like,
you can't trust them.
They don't want to pay safeties that should get paid, but then they don't want to go get safeties in the draft that are good, that are right there, that you don't even really got to pay because you're going to draft them.
And then when you draft them,
you don't even want to play the ones that are better than the ones. Like, so it just lets me know that
and then keep going because it's still more to that. And then when you acquire them, you put them on a practice squad.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Or you get somebody with a better resume than he, like Georgia Loca, and you hardly give him any preseason snaps, and you cut him for $1 million. It's like everywhere you win, you turn around and lose at safety. Everywhere you could have got the high guys. You say no, like Adams, right? You say no. You could draft, and when you draft and they play well, you say no. You acquire a steal. Josh Jones a steal, y'all. A former second rounder, a former starter. You say no. Put him on the practice squad. You get a guy out there that's Thompson in your own eyes seeing the ball. Your own eyes seeing it. Miami and the Giants. Your eyes saw it and mine too. West, everybody. We all saw it. And they say, you're not seeing that.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I mean, we released Taco and that dude, they put him on the active 53. Forget the practice squad, boy. You got to play right now. You know what I'm saying? What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
I mean, you're out here, and that's why I always, before we change the subject, because I think we got a special guest on the line. Do I got my boy SK on the line?
I saw SK. I didn't see the video, but I saw him.
SK, you out there?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, man, if y'all can hear my boy SK, let me know you can hear him, man. And then after you hear him, I want you to boo the heck out of him because he's a Minnesota Vikings fan. Boo! So say something, SK, so they can boo you, man.
Oh man, don't boo me. You're gonna like me after
Yeah,
Hell, I ain't about to like you.
like nothing about you right now.
Beat your
Get
head
your
in.
mother, yo.
this. As long as you like my page on Facebook at the Full Report.
All right, hey, we can hear you, but we can hear you. We just need you to speak up. I need you to use
Okay.
can you use your skull voice?
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
All right. Yeah, I'm on. I'm here. How you guys doing?
Shoot, man, we great, man. We up here. We were just having like a little in-house conversation, man. And hey, I appreciate. Before we get this thing started, man, I want to shout out my boy SK from the Skull Report, man. This guy is down in the trenches with the Vikings out there, man, entrenched. You guys know we only mess with people who travel and go to games, so that's the qualification to even rock with your boy West Coast. So like I do, he do for his team. So salute him. So he's definitely someone qualified. Had him on the show a couple times, and you guys absolutely hated him, so that means in a Cowboy way you loved him. And so I felt he would definitely be the educated person to come on here. And I mean, obviously he gon' I mean, just like I'm taking notes, he's taking notes. Yes, he not even rep, but you know, I mean, I want to know how he feels his team is gonna beat us, and we're gonna sell him the same information. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna give it to us. It's just a real give and take. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's gonna be for some good show. So hey, before we do this, I need everybody, we got 71 people up in here. I need everybody right now on the count of 3. I need everybody to get yourself comfortable. I need you to share real quick. Ready? 1, 2. It's the button right at the bottom of your head. Right there at the bottom. It says SHARE. Share it. If you've already shared it to a group, don't share it to the same group you just shared it to. Don't share it to West Coast. You want to know why? Because West Coast don't need to know that I'm live. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't share it to West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Don't share it to your mama if she sleep already. You know what I'm saying? Share it to someone who gonna watch. Why? Because we about to get into some real cowboy nonsense, man. All right, so man, let's take off, man. Let's talk about y'all. Y'all want to be all structured and organized. I can ask some questions. You know what I'm talking about? Or we want to just have at it, man.
Well, I mean,
No matter. I'm ready to guys throw. I mean, we can get right down to the nitty gritty, and I can tell you what I think is going to happen in the game.
Okay, so let's start off like this. In maybe 2 to 3 minutes, I want each team to kind of not each team, each person. We will give. I'm gonna ask a question, Boss Cowboy. I'll let you represent the Cowboys. I'm asking the question simply gonna be, how do you feel your offense played against your lost opponent? I think that's a fair question.
Okay, is me first?
Yep, and I'll give you, obviously, you're the guest, so I'll let you go first. So, SK from the Minnesota Vikings, who did you play last week, and how do you feel your offense played against them? And also, what was one key takeaway?
Okay, so we played Kansas City in Kansas City, which, as we all know, is a tough place to play. But we were, at least I thought we were, for granted, we didn't play Patrick Mahomes, but we still ended up losing. But as far as our offense goes, it's so wishy-washy right now. We had 4 weeks in a row to where we looked like the best offense in the league. And we looked like what most Vikings fans thought this offense was going to look like when they first signed Kirk Cousins last year. Now, you can say what you want about Kirk Cousins, whether he's good against bad teams and bad against good teams. You know, there's this kind of shtick that he has. But at this point, where I see my offense, where I see the Minnesota Vikings offense, what's preventing him from taking this team to the next level is our offensive line play. So our interior offensive line, our 2 guards and Pat Elflein, who has moved from center to guard after he drafted Garrett Bradbury in the draft this past season. And then on the left side, we have Josh Klein, who was a free agent we signed in the offseason from the Tennessee Titans and a former Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. So our interior offensive line is really struggling right now. And when you have a quarterback like Kirk Cousins, where he needs to get in a rhythm, he needs to get in a groove. He just couldn't seem to get in that rhythm. He couldn't seem to get in that groove. And that was strictly off the interior of our offensive line and Chris Jones for the Kansas City Chiefs absolutely wrecked havoc. So we couldn't really get anything going. We couldn't get our run game going. It kind of just hampered our offense for the rest of the game. And it also didn't help that Adam Thielen checked out of the game after the first series. So I wasn't impressed with our offense. Who knows what offense is going to show up on Sunday, but was not impressed at all. And
man.
Okay. Well, shoot. Boss Cowboy, man. Same question.
Same question. Our offense is dynamic. Yeah, last game, dynamic as hell. But the problem with our offense is it's the small mistakes, it's the fumbles, it's the drop balls, it's small things with us. So we're a team that's super dangerous. Like, we have the number one offense in yards, even with either number one or number two in drops. So West Coast did a great video, bro. He did one of the best videos, which he showed the drop rate of our offense is like exponential, but yet we still number one. So that means that we have a tremendous upside on our offense. And my biggest thing on our offense, especially looking at us from last game, if we can get our yards to match up, if we can get points to match our yards, we crazy scared, So we the type of team that can beat you a couple of ways. We can beat you on the ground and we can beat you in the air. That's my synopsis of us, especially as of last week, where we seeing the same. The biggest thing I say from us as of last week is it was too much of a continuation of what we've been seeing all season, which is bad first halves, but Super Bowl performances in the third and fourth quarter.
Okay. So shoot, man, let's kind of talk about it all, kind of collage it all up, man. One thing what was the final score on you guys on Minnesota SK?
26-23. They had a field goal with no time remaining.
Yeah, good game, battle. It was a battle.
One thing I know that I'm very curious to ask you your thoughts on this is like, and you can ask me questions about my team too, but I want to know, man, are you guys I almost feel like you guys are should be a running team, but you're forcing you guys want to be a passing team. You know what I'm saying? Because the numbers say that you guys should be leading with the run, man. It shows. I know you guys got, and I always, man, this is a running joke. But man, I've been telling, and they got a $15 and a $16 million wide receivers, probably even more now because it's a new fiscal year. You know what I'm saying? But man, they invested in them weapons. They got Kirk Cousins, and the next thing they did was invested in some weapons. And y'all still got the kid that playing Randolph. Is it that playing tight end, right?
Yeah, Kyle Rudolph.
Rudolph playing at the tight end position. So Kirk Cousins, every time we play Kirk Cousins, he's always never really had a running game. So he's always had to throw the ball 40 times. Like now, man, y'all have a damn good running game, and I'm gonna keep it 100. Y'all got the little homie, man. Like SK, let's keep it real, bro. When y'all drafted Madison, bro, what did I do, bro? Tell me what did I do?
Very happy.
You was mad that the Cowboys didn't draft him.
Yeah.
I called you, bro, and I was, man, y'all got my boy, man.
Yeah.
And he's straight from right down the street. To be honest with you, like, I love me some Zeke and Pollard, but realistically, man, one of the nicer duos in the NFL is Madison and Cook, man.
Yep.
So I don't just see why you guys just don't commit to the run, man. What's up with that?
Well, it all goes back to the offensive line.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to run. If you look at week 1, we played the Atlanta Falcons. Granted, it's the Atlanta Falcons. They're 1-7, 1-8 right now. They're a terrible team. But we blew the Falcons out. And Kirk Cousins only had to throw the ball 10 times. 10 times.
Jesus Christ.
We ran it down their throat. Dalvin Cook had a great game. Madison had a pretty good
They would
game.
have killed Dak if you would have did that, boy.
Ooh, they would have killed Dak for that.
Exactly. We heard it from Kirk Cousins, too. No matter how much we won by, it always went back to it eventually is going to come down to Kirk Cousins having to make a throw or have a big game against a good team for the Vikings to take the next step. And if you look at our schedule, you can honestly say we don't necessarily have that game yet. I mean, you can refer to the Eagles game, but the Eagles are so banged up in the secondary that you don't want to put too much of your eggs in one basket. So we're still kind of waiting on Kirk Cousins to have that signature game this year of him beating a quality team at the time. I know the Eagles kind of picked it up since then, but this game is crucial. This is a crucial game, not only in the Vikings season, but in their future as well. If Kirk Cousins can't go out here and get it done in this game, and then on top of that, we have a road game against the Seattle Seahawks in a couple weeks on Monday night. So now you have two games that you can measure Kirk Cousins up to and see what the Vikings are actually going to do in their future. If we're going to look towards the draft or whatever it may be. But go back to our offense. We got time.
And I'm going to be honest, I mean, one thing I will say, I mean, the Dallas Cowboy defense, I mean, they've always seemed to have Kirk Cousins' number, and that's because I feel more or less in the fact that Washington always put him in a position where he was throwing a lot. So, I mean, any quarterback that's not super duper accurate should not be throwing the ball a lot, or you're going to turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? That's just mathematics. Like, that's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, now that's why I say, like, if I'm Minnesota, like, if I got on the sticks and somebody was like, you had to play with Minnesota, I would not be going out there thinking I'm about to bomb you at Kirk Cousins, man, even though you guys have two good wide receivers in Thielen and Diggs. You know what I'm saying? What's up with Thielen, man? Is he playing or not?
It's about a 90-95% chance he's not going to play this Sunday. Vikings are taking the safe route. We don't want to rush him back. We went through the same situation with Dalvin Cook last year with his hamstring, and we kept trying to get him back, and he was just never the Dalvin Cook that we know he could be, that we've seen this year. So we're playing the safe route. We're gonna let him take his time, but this is a very crucial part of our schedule, and there's a lot of games within these next 4 to 5 weeks that are going to determine whether we make it to the playoffs or not. So I doubt he plays this week, and then we got a game the following week and then a bye. So we may be waiting until the bye to let him come back and get back into shape and everything. But chances are he's not going to play this Sunday.
Wow. Shoot, Boss Cowboys, I know you had a quick question.
Yeah, as far as I remember, man, Kirk Cousins is garbage awful on like prime times, Sunday night games, Monday night games, Thursday night games. Like where Kirk Cousins seems to be dangerous is when it's like a 12 o'clock game on Sunday. I'm not just like 100% on that, but I want to get your input on that because it looked like the tea leaves are shaping up for a typical bad Kirk Cousins game. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Oh, I mean, this leads me right into my prediction. I mean, we can get right to it if you guys want. But if you look at Kirk Cousins' primetime record, we all know his struggles in primetime. And I'll refer to Mike Florio. He kind of explained it perfectly.
Okay.
He's fine in those 12 o'clock games. Look, I have no issues. I have no worries about Kirk Cousins when we're playing at home, 12 o'clock, and it's against the Arizona Cardinals. Where I have a problem with them is when obviously we have the prime time game. It doesn't even necessarily have to be against a very good opponent. Yep. You go back to last Thursday's game against the Washington Redskins, and he failed to put a touchdown on the board. We won 19-9 against a very bad Washington Redskins team, who for half of the game was playing with Dwayne Haskins. So that's not necessarily anything you want to hang your hat on. But outside of Kirk Cousins, let's put Kirk Cousins. Yeah. If you look at Mike Zimmer's primetime record, it's just as bad as Kirk Cousins. So this is not just a Kirk Cousins problem. Hell, it's not just a Mike Zimmer problem. This is a Minnesota Vikings problem for the past 10 years. We cannot seem to get primetime games right. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter who we play. We just look like complete crap when we play on primetime. And that's not just the quarterback. That's not just the offensive line. That's also the defense. You got to realize a lot of people look at the Minnesota Vikings defense as being one of the best in the league and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, true.
But this year, I can tell you right now, this defense is being shredded week in and week out, unless it's against a bad team like the Washington Redskins. Our defense, Mike Zimmer, and that defense, that so-called baby of his, let Matt Moore, a backup quarterback, who was an assistant high school football coach a month before that game, go in there and throw for, I think, damn near 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and absolutely picked apart this great Minnesota Vikings defense. So you guys are coming into the game with the number 1 offense in the league, at least as far as yards go. I don't think points-wise, but I think yards, you guys are the number 1 offense.
Yeah, yards.
So you guys should be licking your top. And what did I tell you guys when we were talking about was Philadelphia Eagles for the Eagles game? I told you, Xavier Rhodes is a liability to this defense. And if you looked at the past 2 games, teams have been picking on him, picking on Xavier Rhodes. If you were to go back 2 years ago, teams were trying to stay away from Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah.
Now they're targeting Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah.
So that tells you everything right
Xavier
there.
Rhodes look like a safety these days. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
He's not even a safety. He's not even a safety, West Coast. I hate to tell you.
God.
But going on into my prediction, Vikings are going to lose this game. and to be quite honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a blowout.
Ryan, what are your thoughts on why you say that? Explain that to me.
I mean, he summed it up.
And this isn't a shot at the Cowboys, but it isn't because the Cowboys are necessarily a better team than the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
It's simply because when it comes down to crunch time in those primetime games, I know for at least one thing, Dak Prescott is going to come to play. Ezekiel Elliott is going to come to play. That Cowboys offensive line is going to come and play. I can't say that same thing about my Vikings team.
Damn.
Now, if it was a new season, then I would have all the confidence in the world. But it's prime time, it's on the road, and it's Kirk Cousins, and it's Mike Zimmer, and it's a loss.
Okay.
God,
so
boy, that's
now. But on the flip side, if you were building a plan to beat these Dallas Cowboys, that you could have, I mean, because at the end of the day, they still getting them boys up. And what do you think Mike Zimmer is telling his offense? What do you to be able to execute on these guys? Because I know they're gonna come to Dallas with a thought thinking they're gonna be able to win. So what would be your mindset? You know what I'm saying? As far as you're approaching Dallas.
As far as the defensive side of the ball or the offense?
Defense and offense.
Yeah, like what would be like? What would you think the way to attack Dallas? Taking out the pessimism and saying, how do you beat Dallas Sunday night?
Well, obviously, I'm looking at my team, what my team's strength is. We're not going to have Adam Thielen. And we have Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs. Chances are your defense is going to bracket Stephon Diggs, whether that be double teaming or he even got triple team last game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
He gonna have to earn double team in Dallas. I'll give you one secret though, because we're not gonna come out right off the muscle and do that. They believe.
And I'll tell you right now, you're playing with fire.
Bro, we didn't play with Michael Thomas, bro, and all these other bums, bro. Those are 2 different receivers, and we spoke about Michael Thomas last year, and you had plenty of sour things to say about Michael Thomas. Stop it right now.
And how much of an overrated receiver he is.
Hey! We ain't gonna double it. I'm gonna just tell you and all that is true. It's all true to this day. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you how Chris thinks. Chris is gonna make you earn that double team before he just throws it out there.
Okay. then there might be a chance that Stephon Diggs hits a long touchdown catch, and you guys end up double teaming him. Because I guarantee you, again, there's no shot at your corners or anything like that, but there's not a corner out there that's gonna be able to hang with Stephon Diggs one-on-one. I promise you.
Stop it. This is where this conversation
you was doing good, man. You was
because,
like,
hey, and I'm gonna tell you who I think can hang with him. I'm gonna tell you who I think can hang with him.
Yes, right.
I'm gonna tell you who can hang with him, and he knows him very well, and he's gonna be like, no, he cannot, bruh. I'm gonna tell you right this: Stephon Diggs it's all about staying in front of him, bro. I played corner. He played corner. It's about staying in front of him. Now, if football was about just a straight out race, bro, I know a bunch of dudes in the hood right now that be in the league, but it ain't about that. You gotta have the wiggles off the go. My boy Jordan Lewis, your boy Jordan Lewis, because you knew about Jordan Lewis before any of us did, because you a Michigan boy. You know what I'm saying, bruh? He can stay in front of him, bruh. And I'm not saying cover him all the way down the field, because guess what? That's what you pay safeties for. That's what coverage is for. He's gonna have help.
Yeah, every one of our corners can run, bro. That's
they
like
can all run. Now, now I'm gonna give you some love. If Diggs lines up on Byron Jones, he got action. If he line up on Cheeto, that's where you want to eat at. And I'm just keeping it one. If he line up on Cheeto, because bro, Diggs ain't got the wiggles like Kamara. And I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody on this conversation know if you lining up, not necessarily going down and catching a route, because once you get 10, 15 yards from the quarterback, bro, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Somebody can slow up. You know how it is, Boss Cowboy. You know the life we live. But I'm saying staying in front of you, bruh. Nobody got them wiggles like Barkley. Nobody got them wiggles like Kamara, and that's the dog we sick on him. Them to be true.
No, it's not about wiggles. It's not about running. What you need to worry about is coming off that play action and that double move by Stephon Diggs.
Bruh, you ain't gonna be able to run the ball, so we ain't gonna be playing for no fake action, bruh. Did you see what we did to Barkley? 29 yards. That young man was pissed. He got a nice fade, had his jewelry all out. He was ready to change jersey. He didn't even want to change jersey with Zeke. Zeke looking around like this.
I hear that. But you also gotta understand, after all the primetime BS that I just gave you about Kirk Cousins will sling that ball far better than Daniel Jones will. And I promise you that. You guys cannot sell out on the run like you did against the Giants and expect Kirk Cousins to be that bad.
Bruh. Ain't nobody gonna sell out on the run if you cannot run. You were talking under the assumption that y'all gonna run.
I watched your guys' game against the Giants. You guys sold out on the run. You guys trusted. You guys did a great job with Saquon Barkley. But that's also because the Giants didn't have any deep threat. Daniel Jones isn't much of a threat himself. And their offensive line
you
is
need
just
to watch that Philly
game,
game, bruh. You watched the wrong game. I'm gonna give you a tip.
See, like, you know what? See, because
right now, don't watch that. Watch that Philly game.
I have to give the Vikings a little bit of credit. Y'all are a pick your poison type of team, especially if you have both of your receivers, right? So you have to choose which battle you want to win. And to me, the battle that we want to win, first and primarily, is to stop Cook, because the play action is not going to be effective if he's not able to get off. Now, if he's getting off, that opens up Diggs,
everything.
Cook. And if I'm going to take a gamble, right, I'm going to bet on our corners, and I'm going to tell you why. That little fluke play versus the Jets was the biggest play that we gave up in forever. We've never, under the Rod Marinelli defense, gave up a 92-yard touchdown. So, like what y'all did on Philly don't happen to us. That hardly ever happens to us. So what we do is we try to keep everything in front of us. That's why we run a lot of cover 3. Because in cover 3, you automatically taking away the vertical throws. So it's like, to me, we go stop the run and we go bet on the speed of our corners, even with the double move. And it's like, we just got to keep y'all from big plays. If we can keep everything in front, I think we'll control y'all and we walk away with the dub.
What's your thoughts, SK?
Yeah, that's the difference between our wins and losses. If you look back at all our games, if Kirk Cousins connects on those deep throws, which every game we've had Stephon Diggs open for a 60-yarder, a touchdown, whatever it may be. It always comes down to, is it a completed catch or did Kirk Cousins overthrow him? And if Kirk Cousins connects on those passes, we've won 100% of the time this year. When he misses, whether it be one play in the game, we end up losing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell y'all something too, man. I brought his name up earlier, but I'm gonna tell you who scares me more than Cook is if the Dallas Cowboys scouting department don't do YouTube and Google Darnell Madison and see this dude out here jumping over people. Like, the number one reason why I like Madison so much is because of how much I absolutely love me some Zeke. You know what I'm saying? And he reminds me of a young wild Zeke, literally just jumping over folks. And the worst thing that the Dallas Cowboys can do, because like some of the Philly games that we lost, it wasn't their number one running back who killed us. You know what it was? It was Sproles. And I'm like, nobody looked at Sproles this weekend. Nobody did. It be those players that come into a Cowboy game and change the whole dynamic of a game. And he has big play, bro. He has big playability. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. Like I love me some TP. Is you with me? When we had Madison as our before this. We had Henderson. You had Henderson as your number one, right? Boss Cowboy, you had Henderson as your number one running back in the draft. Who was your number one?
I had Jacobs.
Jacobs, and then what was your top three?
My top three. Oh, this draft was good in running back. Like Madison, I had him as a third or fourth round grade.
Okay.
You know, and most analysts had him like a fifth round grade. Crazy. Like, there's no way to me you can watch the amount of touchdowns, the way that he got his touchdowns at Boise State, the aggressiveness style of way he run, his nose for the end zone.
Bro, the fact that he played at Boise State, I just knew this boy was gonna be a Cowboy. I knew it. Bro.
I thought he was gonna be a Cowboy too. I swear that,
jersey, bro.
especially how most running backs are looked over, right? West Coast. Yeah. Most running backs are looked over, and it was a deep running back draft. So to me, you had to really want him to get him. I almost bet that he was gonna be a Dallas Cowboy. You know what I mean? Because with our history of Boise State and the Boise State Brotherhood, I mean, I wanted him bad.
It just made so much sense, bro.
It's funny how you guys bring him up because chances are he's gonna be getting you guys are gonna be getting a heavy dose of Madison in this game. Just off the simple fact, against these Kansas City Chiefs, he only got six plays. He was only on the field 6 times against the Kansas City Chiefs. Why? Which is, I honestly, I don't know if it was a matchup that we might have saw, but we got a lot of Amir Abdullah in the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, who actually did pretty well for us, scored a touchdown and had some good returns. But the coaching staff heard from the fan base, from everybody, what's going on? Why isn't Madison in the game? He should be in the game. Yeah. So there is a big chance that.
Yeah,
that Madison.
What I've noticed about y'all, man, is y'all coaches kind of respond to the public lobby. You know what I mean? Because when Diggs lobbied for the ball and Thielen lobbied for the ball, y'all start throwing. Because y'all came out very heavy earlier on the run attack. And then, that was questioned. Even though y'all was leading in the league in obviously running the ball, people didn't like the lack of balance.
Hey, that's what happens. Guess what? And that's what really lets you know that your voice do matter because
exactly your voice matter.
They at one point Minnesota was leading the entire league in rushing by a gang of yards.
Yep.
By a gang of yards. And you know what they should have said to the fans? Shut up. We about to keep on running this ball. You know what I'm saying?
No, but that public lobby worked.
I know it works, but I'm saying, like, you should, like, bro, if you're that effective. Shut up. Y'all be quiet. We gon' you know what I'm talking about? We'll do that in a minute. Yeah. Right now we're gonna do this.
Exactly.
The thing is, it wasn't the fans that necessarily lobbied the coaching staff. It was Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Boom.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it was the rest of the offense and the defense that joined along with them. And if you look at what Adam Thielen said, it wasn't a shot at Kirk Cousins. A lot of people took it as a shot at Kirk Cousins. It was really a shot at the coaching staff and the play calling.
Yeah.
He simply said, look, you can't expect to go out here and run for 180 yards every game. You can't expect that. You got to go out. You got to keep the defense on their heels. You got to keep them guessing. You can't run the ball every single down like we did against the Atlanta Falcons. It's just not going to work that way. And when you have the athletes and the receivers that you do have on the outside, and hell, not even just the receivers. You have Kyle Rudolph, who is a really good tight end in this league. You have a rookie in Irv Smith Jr. who's coming into his home. That's really fast. That's a younger version of Jordan Reed. So you have talent all over the place. And you're paying these guys money. Why aren't you getting them the ball? So I think that's where
that falls on the quarterback too, man, because he's the one that ultimately decides who gets the ball, man.
West Coast.
Like,
I want to kind of switch to their defense real quick because, man, you lowered expectation, man, which is real smart, man. That's a real smart ploy that you pulled on this show where you come in here and say, "Oh,
and he want to come back." You know,
he gonna come back, you know. But that's that you lowered expectation, but you ain't gonna trick me like Minnesota not super dangerous because everybody circles the Dallas on their calendar, right? And so we know better than to actually believe that y'all gonna come in here and get blown away. No, I don't believe it for 1 second. What part of your defense do you feel like matches up best and actually might even have an advantage against? That's what I want to
know. Definitely not the secondary. I can tell you that right now.
To make it easier, how about you do this real quick? Rank you have your secondary, you have your three levels. Your defensive line, linebackers, safeties, corners. We kind of rank those real quick in order as far as your strength.
Okay, so as far as our safeties go, I like our safeties. Harrison Smith, obviously one of the best in the league. And then you have Anthony Harris, who is he's a solid safety. He's an upgrade from Sendejo, who we let go last year. A better cover safety. So I would rate them probably a B+, A-, and that's simply mostly off Harrison Smith. Our corners are probably a D+ to a C- right now. Xavier Rhodes is terrible. Trey Wayne is looking terrible, just as bad this year.
Did he ever really live up to the draft pick?
No.
Well, he was a first rounder.
I know, that's why I'm asking.
I mean, just like half of the first rounders that were picked, I wouldn't say he's lived up to it. But for so many years, at least since we drafted Xavier Rhodes, Vikings fans have been so spoiled, so you can't expect Trey Waynes to come in and, I mean, Xavier Rhodes was dominant for 3 or 4 years. Absolutely dominant. He was shutting down receivers like OBJ, Julio Jones, all the top receivers in the league could not do anything against Xavier Rhodes, and that's obviously completely changed because he's getting burnt by no names and all that. So, but the only bright spot I can honestly see in our corners is Mike Hughes, and that he's coming off an ACL injury. He's not 100%, but Trey Waynes hasn't lived up to the expectation. I thought he's been solid outside of this season where he's been getting burnt a lot, but he hasn't lived up to the first round status.
All right, let's go to that defensive line.
Yeah, defensive line and linebackers.
Defensive line, I'd have to go A-. That's probably our strength of our team. Obviously, with Everson Griffin, you got Danielle Hunter, who just set a record. He has the most sacks before any player before the age of 24, 25, or something like that.
Hey, I remember we were watching a game. I forget. It was a couple weeks back, and I already know who that guy was. And I was like, dude, who is this dude right here? And you were like, it was Hunter. And I remember it was Hunter. It's like, that dude is nice.
Yep.
I was like, I think that was maybe like a month ago. It was like week 2 or something. And I was like, bro, that dude is nice, bro. Like, he reminds me of
stopping the run. We know he's a sad guy, but how's he had stopping the run?
Kind of break up your D tackles and your defense. And I shouldn't have said defensive line because I hate saying that.
Because he playing left defensive end.
Defensive end. It's 2 different positions.
So he matching up against Liel. So, like, how's he as a run stopper?
Danielle Hunter.
Yeah.
He's actually a great all-around defensive end. He's a better pass rusher than he is against the run, but he's also really, really good against the run as well. Your tackle's going to have his hand. Honestly, both tackles will. I think Everson Griffin is having one of the best years of his career, but we all know you guys' left tackle is probably the best in the league, so that's going to be a battle to look out for.
That means he's going to get 2 holding calls.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
He may not get 2 sacks, but he for sure going to get 2 holding calls. With everything you just said, you know what I heard? 2 holding calls.
And the beautiful thing though also is that their best is going against our best. You know what I mean? So their best and their highlights of their defense are literally going against the highlights of our offense, both of our tackles. So I sense a neutralization on that advantage that they have. What about your linebackers?
Our linebackers are actually I like what I've seen out of our backers. Eric Kendricks is having a really, really good year, having a Pro Bowl, all pro caliber type year, believe it or not. Anthony Barr has actually improved from last season after he got his contract. It looks like he settled in.
He plays linebacker, or is he an edge rusher?
Linebacker. Sam.
Well, the thing, he's considered a linebacker, but the thing we do with him, or the thing we do with our defense, and what I've noticed a lot lately, is that we're kind of running like a multiple D. You see a lot of 3-4. You'll see 4-3 sometimes. You'll even see
because
there's been times where
I've seen him coming off the edge. That's why I was like, I've seen him coming off the edge a lot. That's where it's. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like Von Miller-ish.
Yeah,
we've been plays like him, but how they use him. That's what I'm saying.
Because the thing we've been doing lately is you might even see it in this game. We've been lining up Everson Griffin on the inside, standing up. Kind of like a double A-gap blitz, but with Everson Griffin in the middle. Then we move Anthony Barr to the outside. And then you have an entire defensive line full of pass rushers. Yeah. So when you get those 3rd and long situations and stuff like that,
they come.
we're coming. And on top of that, not only do you have Anthony Barr coming down on the line, you also have Harrison Smith coming down, blitzing off the other side of the ball. So we like sending pressure. We like doing it, and we like showing a lot of different looks. Like I said, kind of like a multiple defense kind of get down. But I like our linebackers. I like our linebackers in this matchup. Obviously, Ezekiel Elliott is a beast and kind of in a class of his own. So I think with the speed of our linebackers, and these guys go back, they've been playing together for 10 plus years, going back to them playing together at UCLA. So they have this kind of rapport, this chemistry together that they just can give each other a look and they can play off that. Almost in a sense like Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith. They haven't been playing together that long, but they kind of have a rapport and that chemistry going to where they feed off of each other. So Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks, I think they'll do a decent job against Zeke Elliott. I mean, you can't stop Ezekiel Elliott. The best you can do is slow him down. And I think they would have a good opportunity at doing that. But I think this game is going to be won in the trenches, plain and simple. Pretty much our D-line versus your guys' offensive line. That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah. And, from listening to you, I mean, because I think you were one of the most honest fans I've ever heard in my life. I didn't hear any.
Talking about their team, yeah.
I swear to God, I mean, like, I didn't sense no Kool-Aid drinking and only a couple of sips. I think you sipped a little bit of the Kool-Aid a couple of times, but for the most part, you spit it out. It was 100. Now, I'm going to ask you one more question because we have 2 styles to where I think we can beat teams now. We can put it on Dak or we can put it on Zeke. How would you attack you?
Okay, so if I was like the Cowboys, how would I attack us?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you want to get the run game going. You want to get the ball in your best player's hands in Ezekiel Elliott. But if I were just looking at scheme-wise, I would light it up through the air.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I would absolutely light it up through the air with how bad our corners have been playing and just, I mean, outside of the
linebackers and defensive line.
Exactly. I mean,
that's the reason why I ain't trying to go there.
Bro, I was listening real close. He gave those corners D's and C's. He gave his safety A's. He gave the linebackers A's and B's. In the front, he gave A's and B's.
So I'm going where them D's and them F's is at.
Yeah, I'm going where the D's and the F's are, bro. Exactly.
I'm gonna at least find out how. I mean, if you think they bad, I'm gonna find out how bad they is.
Exactly. I'm gonna find out real quick. I'm gonna double move them, especially you got balls coming off ACLs
yeah.
Oh, bro, like
test that real quick.
Cooper's game.
Well, see, here's the thing with our defense. Our defense never really gets beat with double moves or anything deep downfield. It's always just that slow matriculating the ball down the field, kind of just dink and dunk. I mean, exactly what Dak is actually good at is just dinking and dunking all the way downfield, and that's what kills our defense, to be completely honest with you. Because, I mean, as you guys know, we have a really good pass rush. We have a very, very good defensive line, and teams know that.
Right.
So that's how they scheme against our defense. They just pick apart our corners. They try to match up a receiver with a linebacker, or they try to get those matchups, and they do quick passes all the way downfield and just put points on the board. And I think that's what you guys are going to do, plain and simple. You're going to run the ball. You're not necessarily going to take shots downfield. You're just going to eat away that clock and move the ball downfield.
Get that man some Kool-Aid. Man, you reading the last year's scouting report. You ain't keeping up on Dallas enough, man. Because that Deacon patient been dead this year, bro. Stop it. You was doing good and you still saying dig and dunk, bro. No.
This isn't about what Dak can do or what he can't do. I'm saying to beat our defense, he's going to have to do what he's best at, and that's dinking and dunking down.
Oh my God, man! Will you stop that?
That's a compliment. That's not a shot.
Nah, man, it's a shot, man. That's how I'll take it, brother. It's a shot, man, because it's not no dink and dunk, and it's never been that. But anyway, so no, but I heard your analysis. You saying that basically y'all sound like y'all built like us, because we don't give up big plays either. We don't give up big plays either. So what I heard what you're saying. What you're really saying is the way that you beat us is you just walk the ball down the field. That sounds like to me, West Coast. You know what I mean? That to me, if I say go, I say strike y'all. But I have to respect somebody that know their team as well. If you saying that y'all are really not susceptible to the vertical throws, but y'all are susceptible to like underneath stuff, are good at beating you with play action slants, crossing patterns, stuff like that, where we just kind of walk the ball downfield.
Yeah, I mean, we are, like, we have been getting beat deep, but it's late in games. We aren't getting beat early in games. It's the offense setting up those little short passes, setting up the run, and then hitting that big shot, late in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. And that ultimately becomes the difference in the game. So it's not necessarily saying, oh, you just dink and dunk your way out the whole game. You take your shot.
Yeah.
But it's just capitalize on those shots.
Yeah.
Some teams have been able to, and some teams haven't been able to. So I think it ultimately, for the Cowboys, like I said, I believe the Cowboys will win this game. It's going to come down to Dak Prescott being able to make those throws downfield. And to be quite honest with you, what I've seen from Dak this year, I think he'll be able to make those throws. It's just a simple fact if we're able to get pressure on the quarterback, and if we can get pressure up the middle. We're fine getting pressure off the edges. We're one of the best teams getting pressure off the edges. It's all about getting pressure in that middle of your offensive line, and that's where we struggle at. So, like I said, I think Dak's going to be able to take advantage of that.
Real quick, I do want to give a special shout out to you and West Coast, because I hope the people that's watching this show understand the value of having an independent blogger that's a Minnesota Viking fan that's also of the same breadth of West Coast and I, that have that independent voice and that know the hell out of their team. Like, this is something that is such a great value for both sides, to have us talk about Dallas in detail, and to have you who intimately know Minnesota down to the drafts, the free agents, the strengths, the trends, like, this is to me real football discussion. Like, so if this is that share button, this is the show to do it, especially. I just want to say that real quick. You know what I mean? To where you should be hitting that share button, because you're hearing a breakdown that I promise you probably ain't hearing most places, like, at all. So this is independent Minnesota Vikings expert talking right now versus Dallas Cowboy experts and passionate fans.
Yeah, man, you don't get this on ESPN or NFL Network.
You don't, because this was like, we dug deep on both sides. So I just wanted to kind of say that real quick.
Well, shoot, man. SK, man, I appreciate you for coming on, man. We've been on here an hour and 20 minutes now. About to wrap this thing up. I'm about to go take my kids to. Every time I leave town, we always go to somewhere, and guess where they pick? Raising Cane's, because there's only one in 40 miles from here. Then I get to go to Dallas and see one every 3 minutes. Hey, and the wings is bigger in Dallas.
Oh, man.
Serious, man. That doesn't irritate me, man. I be going up in there and they be giving me these little wings. I be looking at them like they don't know that I know what's going on. Like,
hey, man, but that Raising Cane's, that's some good stuff too, brother.
Is, man, but I ain't tripping, because I'm going to be swimming in waffles and grits.
Hey, West Coast. I know
I'm
what
doing a show at the Waffle House. I'm gonna be swimming in grits. I can't wait. 7 9.
Hey, man, hey, we got the light too for it, man. So we're gonna be real good. We got the nice little light. We're gonna have that professional look. But anyway, real quick.
What's up?
This is off the topic. I want to ask SK on this too. Dad said that he trying to come back in 2 weeks. I heard a sarcastic laugh out of you, so I already know where you're going, West Coast. I guess before we get out of here, people want to know about that.
Bro, you ain't gotta say nothing to me about no Dez Bryant, bro. You already know what time it is with me with Double X, man.
Got you.
Let me ask you this.
Get it popping right now. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't even gotta wait 2 weeks.
Why was he cut from the Cowboys?
Because somebody that made more than him didn't like him.
Politics, and really Scott Linehan, and the thing about it, and that's a good question. Great outside question.
SK was like, God dang it, that's not the answer I was looking for. No, it's not.
Outside question, man. Like, because we know the politics. It's like the politics of your team, right? So what happened was Scott Linehan. It was a battle about the future of the offense. Dez was always right on what he said, that our offense was predictable. The defense knew what we was doing. But what ended up happening was
he Kanye Wested, and everybody hated him for it.
He Kanye Wested, meaning he did it the wrong way. You can be right, but say it the wrong way.
Delivery.
Yeah, and then then you get pointed as the bad guy and the counselor and the locker room guy. And the problem with Dallas offense is really you, Dez. It's not our play calling. So he was the scapegoat. But a whole year later, finger properly got pointed at the real person, which was the whole time Scott Linehan. So we got rid of our franchise touchdown leader, right? We got rid of him, but he was right the entire time. So, it's one of those things to where the media said that he was on a decline. That's really, obviously he wasn't himself in terms of 2014 days, but he was obviously a very good asset to Dallas and still a touchdown machine for Dallas. Like, obviously he didn't have the explosiveness that he had before his ankle surgery, but in the red zone, who is better? Even today, I would take Dez right now, if he's healthy enough, over Thielen and Diggs in the red zone. Now, between the 20s, I'm going with Thielen all day, and I'm going with Diggs all day. But when you get to where it's mano a mano, high point action, I'm finna punk you. I'm getting ready to, and I'm an expert at this part of the field.
Nobody's better than Dez.
And so, like, in my opinion, what I've been saying lately is we need to get our touchdowns to match our yards, because we number one in yards. We moving the ball, but once we get down there, we still kind of hitting the brakes. We got to be able to get down there and say, we got Witten, We got Dez, and we got Cooper. You can't stop us now. You can't. Like once we get down here, you don't know where the pause is coming from. It can come from Zeke, it can come from Dez, it can come from Witten, it can come from a number of different plays. And so it makes sense now. Will we do it? Probably not. You know, because we're not the type of team that admit we wrong.
And think about it. My last thing on this, my last thing before I got to get up out of here is this, man. Dez Bryant admittedly said in his tweet message, that he is not looking to be a starter. He is looking to be a contributor. So guess what? That right there lets me know that he's in my budget.
Yeah.
Why? Because I mean, what the hell? That means you can get him at minimum. Why? Because I'm only going to use you minimum. And think about this. Dez Bryant has so much money that he can do like a Tom Brady and just be like, I just want to play football, so I'm not tripping. Like, and I'm going to be honest with you, LeBron James showed you that there's power in taking less money. You want to know why? He's played on 3 teams that he picked. You know what I'm saying? You just make your money. I mean, you may not make your money today, but you get to make it on everything else on the outside. Like Jalen Smith, I think that's why Jalen Smith has so much respect for Dez, because marketability, I know Jalen Smith sees Dez Bryant as the pinnacle. As of, like, that's where I'm trying to get. Like how the fans love him and how he can throw up the X, and that's the simulation of everything. If you in Texas anywhere, you throw up the X, some old lady, that Bryant. You know what I'm saying? They gonna know what that X mean. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I believe Jalen Smith rock with him so much, because he aspires to be that. Man, bro, you get a guy who, if you're trying to teach a bunch of young kids on how to do something, bro, like, oh my God, nobody has ever in my life that I know, in 37 years of living, there is not one person that I know love the Dallas Cowboys as much as me as a player than Dez Bryant. I don't give a damn what nobody say, bro. I just don't believe it. Like Michael Irvin is very close up there. But bro, Michael Irvin was about his money. You know what I'm saying? And at the end, I mean, Michael Irvin did his deal. But think about this, man. Dez Bryant held on to the very end, damn near 2 months, allowing a team to decide if they were gonna cut you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's love, bro.
Like, that's a dumb love. That's a bad love. That's a bad love.
Your woman coming home at 5 a.m, but you still hoping she's faithful to you.
Smelling like another man's cologne.
That's dumb love. I mean, that's the type of love that's loyal. Like, so that's one of those things that I think a lot of our fans take for granted. I said this yesterday. I love players that always wanted to be Dallas Cowboys. Like, people don't understand why Will Hernandez kept fighting. You really kept up with Will Hernandez for the Giants. The reason why he was fighting us is because his mama, his daddy, and him was lifelong Cowboy fans. So every time he was playing us, he was wishing he was us. So I mean, Dez fit that profile, and he will be cheap. That's the biggest thing. It solved that problem we've been talking about since
the only reason that somebody can say they don't want Dez is some personal crap. Like, he's gonna get cancer in the locker room. Well,
right on something. They just trying to be right.
If he's a cancer in the locker room, he's already a cancer in the locker room. Why? Because your star player, Jalen Smith, and your quarterback last year was all throwing up the X. So my thing is how does a guy not play for you for 2 years and they don't let you that much effect on your team?
Yeah, like people don't realize West Coast that tank.
He can use that. Jerry can use, because Jerry feels in his heart that, like, yo, I'm one of the few people in the world who can not necessarily control Dez, but can steer him in a certain direction. So it's like, if you know this guy has this much influence over them, why don't you steer that guy who will then steer those guys?
Yeah, when your current leaders still look at Dez as the leader, you never was a cancer.
Period. Yeah, that's fact.
They said the heart of our team is Dez. In the Atlanta game, for no reason last year, Dak, the leader, throws up the X. This year, for my man's birthday, Jalen throws up the X like, bro, we didn't forget.
Captains all see what they chase.
Thanks. The Saints, just in a week of his presence, was throwing up the X. That is not a cancer. And the Dallas Cowboys fans need to stop lying on this man, bro. It's retarded. Because if you got that much presence to walk into a team like the Saints and have their stars throwing up the X, that's respect.
That's respect. Hey, man, we got to get up out of here, man. But, hey, man, I appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us, man. I thank y'all. That's our final word. SK, I appreciate it, man. Hey, SK, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Skull Report SK, and then the Skull Report page on Facebook at Skull Report. Go ahead and give it a follow. You probably won't because it's all Cowboys fans, but remember me because you'll probably see me on TV in a couple years.
That's what's up,
man. I love that, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, I don't rock with you. If you ain't trying to go nowhere, I can't rock with you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then when that happened, you remember the boys who rock real hard, man. You got to bring boys with you. Because everybody got to have a Dallas Cowboy antagonist. Everybody.
Well.
Already know.
Hey, SK, you know I support, man. The laptop. Hey, that laptop, it got a certain sting to it, right?
Hey, man, I already know what it is.
Yeah, hey, it's all good, man. But hey, man, I appreciate every y'all for rocking with us tonight, man. Hey, you already know what it is, man. It is your boy West Coast Boss Cowboy, and we had SK on the line, man. You already know what it is. Never look down because the stars up. Bring Dez back. Stop tripping.
Stop tripping, man.